Hey everybody, it's the coach, and this is Madden 19 on EA Sports. We're just about set to get started, and this ought to be a good one between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime, but kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
Coach, thanks. CA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the Inner Harbor at M&T Bank Stadium here in Baltimore, Maryland. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you look at this Raven team as they get ready here. They come in off a loss in the opener last week. That one was on the road. Now they get their first taste here of home cooking.
And what they're hoping to do is feed off the energy of the home crowd. Great tailgate, great fan support. Let's see if they can put it to good use.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Steelers, they too were losers last week, so they're also hoping to get back in the win column.
Something's got to give in this one, right? Both teams want to start a new streak, and they both want it to be a victory. This should be a fun one.
Two one-loss teams set to lace it up. This ought to be fun, and we're underway on EA Sports. To return, it's Cam Sutton. And look at this. Right away, a loose football. And it's picked up by the Ravens. So they've got the football, and they'll start right on the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line.
As that ball got away from him, and he saw the opposing team recover it.
You felt his pain?
Oh, I felt his pain, and you know what was going through his head. Tuck it away. Take care of the ball. All the things he hears all week in practice, he didn't carry it over into the game.
And they'll go to the ground attack here. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down. And as a first-rounder, a lot of eyes on him, a lot of expectations.
And he has to play well in his rookie year. Those days of coddling guys and bringing them along slowly, those days are long gone. When you're drafted in the first round, they expect you to play right away. And the community's eyes and fan base, they'll be on you the entire way.
They added a lot of talent to a roster that really needed an infusion of youth. They got a very good infusion of youth.
And they didn't really reach to get anyone as well. They stuck to their draft philosophy. Got the best players they could at the time they were drafting and inserted them into their lineup.
They don't want to waste this outstanding field position on this opening drive as they come up on third down.
Let's go!
On third down, Jackson. This will be caught inside the 10. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a first and goal.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
So the ball position now at the 3. Here's second and goal.
Detroit! All right, here we go. Detroit! Gun!
On second down. Here's Jackson. Toward the right sideline, but it's incomplete. Chris Conley, the intended receiver, and it's 3rd and short.
They may be snapping the ball near the goal line, but all you're thinking defensively, keep them out of the end zone. Force the incompletion, force them into going for 3 and not giving up 6.
So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3.
Hurry up, Blue 90!
3rd and goal, Jackson. Got a man, it's caught for a Ravens touchdown. Mark Andrews, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Ravens have taken the early lead. Sometimes those tight ends are a mismatch. They found the mismatch there.
And that's exactly why you want to draw up those types of plays, because coverage is just going to go to the natural guys, the guys that make the big plays on the outside. But if you work your tight end into it, that's a tough one for a defense to handle.
Tough. They couldn't handle it. It worked out for 6. Sutton now to return. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. So out come the Steelers now for their first drive. Their 36-year-old quarterback brings them out there. He'll be calling the shots in his 15th season now. It's Ben Roethlisberger.
And what I loved about meeting with him before the game was talking to a guy who takes ownership of his performance. 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions last week, but all he focused on was the loss, okay? And he did say, if I change my stats a little bit, not necessarily for me to look better, but that'll help my team.
And he connects with Vance McDonald. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8. On your screen now, here are the offensive starters. At wideout, Antonio Brown is certainly someone that the defense always has to account for.
Without a doubt, a true number 1 receiver. It doesn't matter to him how defenses want to cover him. He sees it as a challenge and knows how to defeat them.
So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on first down. Now the first carry for Le'Veon Bell. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and they're left with a 3rd and 8. Defensively, here are the starters for Baltimore. They enter this one down in the 26th position in the NFL against the run.
This is an area of the game that they definitely have to improve, because right now, against the pass, top 10 in the league. But against the run, that's where the struggles have come in. Got to find a way to make sure they stop runners before they get started.
On 3rd down, Roethlisberger gets this one to Le'Veon Bell. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this into enemy territory across the 40. That goes for a gain of 31.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
Now a first down carry by Bell. Now Bell hit. He lost the football. And it's picked up by the Ravens. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not even going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations. Big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team.
So a nice job to break the 1 tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
Now it's Jackson to the right side and complete to Hurst. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal, because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
And they'll run it here. And he's got the first down yardage as he brings this up to the 47. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains.
And that's why you spend a first-round draft pick on a running back. Not for just the fancy runs, but these dirty, gritty 3rd and 1s, 3rd and 2s. That's why you draft him.
And on the ground they go with the running back. Looking for a cutback lane, but nothing there as he's met at the line of scrimmage. Bud Dupree, a former first-round pick, in on the stop.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
And he'll get this one across midfield and down into Steeler territory. He's able to rattle off 6 on the carry, and that'll get him to 3rd and 4.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Now let's go! Green 39! Green 39!
From the gun on 3rd down, Jackson. And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going down. So on 4th down, here's Sam Cook to punt it away. Back deep for the Steelers, Antonio Brown. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And last time the turnover on the fumble, and they were in enemy territory, so that had to be very frustrating. Down on the scoreboard here, can't do it again.
You nailed every part of what was frustrating. Down on the scoreboard, had a drive going, had pushed it past the 50-yard line so they thought they were in striking distance, and to come away with nothing, not a good feeling at all, to put it mildly. Now they can't afford to do that again.
Yeah, now can they get that bad taste out of their mouth here? It's a big run that time by Bell. 48 yards on the ground. And for those worried about whether or not Le'Veon's explosiveness would return, I think we just had our answer.
ACL? What ACL? This guy's back running as if he were totally healthy and never had an issue.
And they'll keep it on the ground with Bell. And he'll work his way inside the 30 now to the 28. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. Getting the sense, Charles, are going to put big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far, it's working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers do their job when the lights come on. I think he likes natural light best.
On 2nd down, Roethlisberger. Looking left side, and it's complete. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. His first catch, good for 16 and a first. A first opportunity for the Steelers in the red zone. It's 1st and 10 from the 12. Now Roethlisberger going to hand to Bell. And they'll lose yardage here. They go backwards to the 13-yard line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Well, that didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
A fake to Bell. Now it's Roethlisberger. Got his man. It's caught for a Steelers touchdown. Vance McDonald, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Steelers are an extra point away from tying this thing up.
That's almost just not right. You cover everybody, but those tight ends, they can be awfully reliable.
Very reliable. The defense just has to hate those guys.
This drives them crazy because oftentimes you can't match up with them. They have you either with size, speed, or maybe even just strength.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And the Ravens taking the field and hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win first down. You win 2nd down. And guess what? You start accumulating first downs. And that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again.
That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
Jackson. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
It's a lot of contact going on there, and in the end, unable to keep 2 hands on the football and bring it into his body.
Everything looked pretty good until the finish. To throw on 3rd down. Jackson steps away to his left. He may try and run for this. And he'll go out of bounds across the 35-yard line. That one good for 13 and a Raven first down.
Someone knew exactly where he needed to get to pick up that first down now. I'm not so sure about the technique in getting there, but he went for it, and he got it.
Exactly. He knew where he needed to get, because remember, if he slides, when that derriere dips, if you will, that play's over.
Derriere dips, I like that one.
Yeah, been working on it for a little bit.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first.
Well, they came into this game saying it was important that they set the tone and show that they can run the football. I believe that they've done that here in the first quarter.
Right back to him on first down. And down to the 44, 5 yards that time.
All right, Brad, I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of runs, they're going to open up a world of opportunities for this offense going forward.
And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And they'll bring him down after just a short pickup. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a third down.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
And before they can run another play, the clock hits triple zeros. And time is up on the first quarter. 7-all is the score. EA Sports NFL Sunday returns following this.
The NFL on EA Sports is presented by Snickers. You're not you and you're hungry. Snickers satisfies.
Second quarter now. Brandon Gaudin, Charles Davis with you. It's the Ravens who have the football. They're on the march, but facing a third down here. To throw is Jackson. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Cole. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up fourth down. They'll try and throw for it with Jackson. And able to find Conley. And he's able to get it to the 31, and that's enough for the first. Give them credit. They knew what they wanted to dial up on fourth. They executed it for 9 yards, and the offense stays out there.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone, and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. They give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
Now Jackson on second down. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
I think he's a little trigger happy right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. The Ravens on third down. They've converted 4 times out of 6. Not bad. This will be 3rd and 6.
All right, now look at 56. Look at 56. Green 39.
From the gun, it's Jackson. And this is going to be incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
A dozen plays on that drive that ends with the field goal.
Let's go ahead and break out some of the old chestnuts here, right, partner? Keep the ball in front, rally to it, and make the tackle, right? No big plays given up, no balls over your head. Bend, don't break.
Hold on. Chestnuts?
You like
Come
that
on.
one?
What does that mean, break out? Just because you break chestnuts?
I'm not sure about that, but I'm just going with why they said that. I have no idea.
Big Ben and the Steelers with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
What's up?
On 1st and 10, it's Roethlisberger. This is caught by Antonio Brown. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. It'll be a gain of 17 at a Pittsburgh 1st. With that grab, by the way, Antonio Brown now over 10,000 receiving yards in his career.
That is an incredible, significant accomplishment. You're saying 10,000 yards? How many other guys have done that in NFL history?
He's the 46th all-time.
And one of the few that are active.
Yeah,
incredible.
There's only a few that are active. He still, though, is a ways away from Jerry Rice, up over 22,000 for the all-time lead. We've seen him break off a big run already in this game, and for a second, that one looked like it might be another.
Yeah, I think that any defense would say, look, we can't let him get to the second level, because sometimes he'll break off the big run on his own, but oftentimes you get additional blocking at the second level, which gets you deeper into the secondary.
And he's going to get this inside the 30. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling.
Would you say this offense is locked in right now?
They're having no trouble on this drive. What is it, 3 plays, 3 first downs?
Yeah, you talk about on the march. They keep this up, they get to that end zone real fast.
Now it's Roethlisberger. On the left side, it's McDonald. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
Sometimes the most effective routes are the ones that you run in the backyard. You probably ran them when you were 5 years old. How about a little curl there against zone? But the key to it is finding the open spots in the zone. How a linebacker or a defensive back will widen to give you space. Find that area and let your quarterback hit you.
Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains.
But we always talk about good down and distance, allowing offenses to expand their playbook. Well, 2nd and 2, that means your playbook's wide open. You can run just about anything. A lot of times, the play caller just looks down at his sheet, sees the short yardage runs, and goes to one of those.
And he'll be stopped after a gain of only a couple down to the 15-yard line.
He's had success on this drive, but not on this play.
Finally, they bowed up defensively. I think they were determined not to let him take it pretty much all the way down the field.
Yeah, it looks like they handled their run responsibilities correctly this time. What we call run fits, everyone was in the right place.
Another 2-yard gain there, but they'll need to do better this time. It's 3rd and 6.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
From the gun on 3rd down, it's Roethlisberger. Open man, Smith-Schuster, it's complete. And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. And now the passing game here in the second quarter starting to heat up a little bit.
Don't you feel the rhythm starting to happen, right? You see it. Now the confidence is starting to rise. I think now as a play caller, because that has happened, you lean on it a little bit more. You don't go totally away from running the football, but you do say, guess what? We can throw it. We can throw it well with a whole lot of confidence. Well, with the kind of half he's had, I think we can forgive him that run, right? Not every run's going to be a big play, is it?
No, and also the blocking just wasn't there. No room to run.
Yeah, defensively, they got to find a way to build on that because he's eating them alive in the first half.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield as it turned out. Couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight. Unable to find anyone open.
Here's Roethlisberger to throw. Now Ben hit, and he lost the football. It's loose, and the Ravens have got it. A little careless with the football, and he also had a fumble loss last week, didn't he?
He certainly did, and when I'm watching him play, the one thing that comes to mind is always remember, traffic, turbulence, people around you, 2 hands. Get 2 hands on the ball. Grip it tight. I know it looks cool to have it in one hand. Put it away. Tuck it away because you've got to take care of the ball.
Being chased out left. And he will avoid the contact as he slides to a stop. He'll get 10 there all on his own, but it'll be 2nd down.
I think the last 2 plays really illustrate how difficult it is to game plan against this guy because you know he can throw the football, But how about his use of legs as well, what we call those broken plays? You can't account for them.
Yeah, those plays, those two that you just mentioned, a microcosm really of how he can hurt you. They'll run it now out of the gun. Only a gain of a yard there, but it indeed gets him a new set of downs.
2nd and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on 3rd down and pick up the 1st down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the 1st down. That's exactly what they did.
Clock running, under 4 to play now as they come up on 1st and 10. And they'll go on the ground. Looking for an opening, not much there. He'll get it to the 39. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And able to get a couple as he's across the 40 to the 41.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground. The Ravens on 3rd down. They've hit 4 of 7. This will be 3rd and 6.
Hurry up, here we go.
Jackson from the shotgun. The Cowboys got it over the middle. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. That's good for a Raven 1st down, 15 yards there.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. 2 minutes to play here in the 1st half. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down. A reminder, coming up at halftime, we'll head to Orlando. Standing by there, Jonathan Coachman. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL in his 2nd week of the regular season. 2nd and 10. Here's Jackson again. Oh, a ball batted in the air, and now it's intercepted. Picked off by Ryan Shazier. And he'll return this one just shy of midfield to the 49. It's almost like you can see the look of frustration on his face. 4 interceptions last week. We talked about it all week. What did he do wrong? And another one here in the 1st half.
And you can understand the frustration. You actually feel his pain a little bit. But the worst thing he can do is what you're seeing right now, showing the other team that he's frustrated. All they're going to do is double their efforts to make him even more frustrated. He's got to gather himself, compose himself, and keep fighting.
Well, he talked a lot about erasing that loss last week, getting back in the win column. We'll see how he responds.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
And his throw is incomplete.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the 2nd quarter, a lot of time to change things. Now Roethlisberger. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. They'll get 10 there, but it leaves him just short for 4th down.
Receivers love having the reputation of being go-to guys on 3rd down, and he was fighting like he really wanted to have that reputation, didn't he? I mean, he came very close to making that a 1st down.
Broke the 1 tackle, but couldn't spring himself free. He punted 4 times in the loss last week as he gets this one away here. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. No, bottled up. Fumble. It's out. It's loose. And it's picked up by the Steelers. And he takes it back to the house. A fumble recovery for a Steelers score. huge, huge play by the defense, not only to force the fumble, obviously, but to return it for a touchdown.
And I know it's no fun for anyone who plays offense, but isn't it fun to see how a defense rallies when there's a fumble return and everyone tries to find someone to block and bring it all the way home?
I always like their celebrations because they don't get there that often.
No, they're not choreographed very well usually.
So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. This will be taken about the 12. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. The Ravens offense now, they get set and head back onto the field. And let's just say they're going to be looking to start over on this drive. A few moments ago, they were in the exact situation, but their first play led to a fumble that was returned for 6.
Yeah, you definitely have to have a short memory to play in the NFL. You got to remember what you did wrong so you don't repeat it, but you can't dwell on it because then you will repeat it, and that's what you don't want to do.
And he's got some space here. He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be second and a couple.
Now, that was not a bad scramble there on first down. He didn't force it, nor did he throw it away. He was able to take off, and now he made it a very manageable second and short.
Gone, gone! Gone, gone! Detroit! Detroit! Here we go now!
On second down, Jackson. Wide open receiver complete. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1.
Hurry up, here we go! All right, now, look at 56!
Jackson on first down. Over the middle, complete. That's Andrews. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line. And a nice gain at 21 yards.
Detroit! Detroit! All right, now, look at 56!
Now Jackson on first down. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
Watch him now, boy! Hurry up, here we go! Blue 90! Gone, gone! 90! Gone, gone!
Off the play fake. Here's Jackson. Rush coming, and he's taken down. And now maybe they want some extra time to talk about this third and long play as we'll get a timeout, as they'll stop it with 25 seconds to go here in half number 1. The Ravens on third down. They've had good success, 5 for 8 to this point. This will be 3rd and 15.
Gone, gone! Hurry up, here we go! Green, 39! Green, 39! Detroit! Detroit!
Here's Jackson on 3rd and long. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Well, he bounced up after taking a sack and took a shot downfield. I think a lot of us thought maybe he'd run draw in that situation instead. Tried to get it all back in one play.
Yeah, 3rd and long. Thought he needed the deep pass, couldn't connect it.
Maybe he was hoping for a penalty downfield to give him the yardage they needed.
So the 3 points here, they're still down, but they put somewhat of a dent into that lead going into the break.
Anything helps when you're trying to chip away at a lead, but they do know that they're going to need a little bit better effort in the second half.
Here comes Ben Roethlisberger and the Steeler offense back onto the field. He's played a pretty clean first half, a touchdown, no interceptions.
Frankly, that's what they expect out of him. They want to see the ball thrown and thrown well, and he's able to do that and put it in the end zone. They'd love to see more of that before this game finishes. But right now, he's got his team in a good spot.
A good spot, maybe looking for touchdown pass number 2 here in the second quarter. So we've reached halftime here with the visiting Steelers out in front. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, we'll get you back to you and Charles in a bit, but first it's time for a trip around the NFL following an eventful opening weekend. Let's see what's happening in Week 2. We'll begin with the big game of the weekend, the Super Bowl 52 rematch between Philadelphia and New England. And it's the Patriots with the lead in that one. Torrey Smith, a touchdown reception. From there, let's head off and check out a second game. and they were winners in that one as they take care of the visiting Denver Broncos. Patrick Mahomes, 2 touchdown passes as his guys remain unbeaten. Lastly, let's get up to Buffalo to check on the Bills. And they have the lead in that one over the visiting Indianapolis Colts. Bruce Ellington, a touchdown reception. In the game you've been watching, it was Ben Roethlisberger who led the way offensively in the first half. His guys lead, though, by only a point. It's been a tight one. As for the start of the third quarter, we'll send it back to Brandon Gaudin.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out come the Ravens now. They'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. They'll run it now out of the gun. Able to get away.
That's why you keep the legs churning.
There he goes, left side.
Boom.
Still fighting. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. A great effort there. His second touchdown on the season. And the Ravens are in for 6. Good start to the season for him. He had the touchdown last week in the opener and a second one in week 2 now.
How about the pace he's already established, right? Not sure he can keep it up for an entire season, but don't burst the bubble because he thinks that he can.
Do guys go into a season with a goal for touchdowns scored or yardage? What do you think?
I think every single one of the guys who's going to touch the football, they all have those types of goals. They all have those types of thoughts. And then they just have to see how the season unfolds if they can stay with it.
Unfolding so far so good for him. The offense going to stay on the field as they will line up and go for 2.
No. Check. Patriot. Leopard.
Here's Jackson to throw. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. Protection was great. He had time to set up a campsite. But in the secondary, though, they were ready.
And I think that in most places on the field, if you have that much time to throw the ball, someone's going to shake free and you'll find an open receiver. But condensed near the goal line on a 2-point conversion, all that extra, there's not any extra field. So it kind of closes in on them, and that allows you to cover a little bit better.
Time for the Steelers offense now to get set for their first possession of half number 2. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. And he's brought down after a good gain. That goes for a gain of 31. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays, not necessarily X's and O's, and that's exactly what they did there. It's never a bad idea to try and get it to Antonio Brown, but there must be a little bit of the Madden curse going on for our cover athlete here. Hasn't been able to get that elite separation that we're used to seeing from him.
On second down, it's Bell. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10. He's fumbled already once, Charles. I'm not going to say that was in his mind there, but I'm sure that during some of these plays he is mindful of it.
And once you fumble the ball, you know what your team tells you and your coaching staff? Take care of it the rest of the game. And that does get in your mind a little bit, and sometimes that slows down your effort in trying to get...
And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. Vance McDonald with 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game. And the Steelers are able to strike for 6. Now Mike Tomlin says, let's go ahead and go for 2.
I know we often laugh, and sometimes we even exalt the guys who are great trash talkers and give us some really funny lines. But the bottom line is absolute production.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off here by Jimmy Smith. And now nothing but green ahead of him. He's at the 50, 30, past the 20. And he takes it all the way back. It's a pick two, if you will, as that play backfires in a big way. Well, that was almost a 4-point swing, the interception. If he had returned it all the way, it would have been 2 for them, but just a little bit shy.
And when it's a play like that, you're exactly right with the math. But don't you feel like it would have counted for more if they found their way all the way back to the end zone and gotten the 2? That changes the whole momentum, doesn't it?
Boswell on now to kick this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. And they'll go with the ground attack here. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line.
Stephon Tuitt came out of Notre Dame as another one of those really tall defensive ends, and you just wonder, would they be able to have the leverage to bend and make plays? I think he just gave us an answer with that tackle.
On second down, here's Jackson. He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time. What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
Jackson firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
Look at 56. Look at 56. Here we go now. Boom, landed. Boom, landed.
Throwing on first down, it's Jackson trying to lay one up deep. And this is taken in at the 5. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. As his guys are in for 6, and the Ravens will extend their lead. And he showcased his blazing speed on that one.
Was he wearing football cleats or track spikes? Because he was gone. Big-time play, and just think about what that does if you're a receiver on the team with him. Well, that's got to open things up for you as well, because if I'm a defense, I've got to get back deeper and deeper in order to keep him in front. But I'm not sure how many can actually keep him in front with that speed.
Tucker with the extra point, and the lead is up to 8. Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. Sutton now to return. And he'll take it out past the 25 to the 26-yard line. And Le'Veon Bell making his way back out onto the field now. And there are the numbers. Got off to that torrid hot start. We thought he was in for maybe a career day. Not the case.
No doubt about it. It almost looks like a misprint after what we saw in the first half. But let's give a little bit of credit to the guys on our side of the ball. They went in at halftime, made a few adjustments, and you know what else? They didn't lose their confidence in their ability to play. Because a lot of times you get beat down in the first half, it gets ugly in the second half. They've come out with a new resolve and a renewed determination.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. So he can't hang on, and as I watch that unfold, I remembered an expression that I've heard, maybe from you, I don't know, but you're going to get hit anyways, might as well hold on to the ball.
Well, you know a coach said that, right? Yeah. Not an actual player. Not a chance at all. Way easier said than done.
Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well. Well, not to get too overcritical there because he knows what he's doing, but his shoulders looked a little off kilter there when he threw there.
I don't think you're being overly critical there. You're just analyzing it, and he gets those shoulders right, that pass will go from incomplete to complete.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Bell. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. And the play goes for 19 yards, gives him a new set of downs.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Chalk that up as their first sack in this game, and they tallied 4 a week ago.
And probably not as much exultation in that sack as what took us so long. Because when you get 4 the previous week, you're counting on continuing that momentum. They didn't get that done in the first half of the game. Let's see now if they start to bring even more exotic pressure towards the quarterback.
Looking middle, and it's incomplete. He was looking to hit his running back, Le'Veon Bell, that time. And it's 3rd down. And Charles got to like what this defense has been able to do these last couple of plays.
Yeah, they get the sack on 1st down, then they force the incomplete pass. Now they're just a play away from getting the football right back, but it's a big play. They've got to hold up.
Now Ben on 3rd and long. Going for the deep ball. That's going to be caught. And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. A big play there with his first career NFL touchdown. And the Steelers are within a 2-point conversion of tying this game. So that's the rookie's first trip to the end zone, and I think it's safe to say one he'll always remember.
Oh, without a doubt. That one is going to be imprinted forever. And nowadays, we're seeing rookies make a greater impact at that position at receiver than ever before. I think mainly because of the sheer volume of footballs that they catch in college.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Did they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4.
Detroit! Detroit! Hang on now!
Here's Jackson to throw on 2nd down. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Cole. They only get 5 out of that quick slant, but that's good enough for a first.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
Here we go now. 3-19. 3-19.
Now they try the right side here. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 45. A good run there on 1st down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid game. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to split right there.
And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. There to stop him, Terrell Edmonds.
Well, he was stopped on that play, but he's had plenty of carries all afternoon. Every now and then the defense is going to win one, but I don't think they'll shy away from handing it to him the rest of the game.
Jackson looking to throw on 3rd. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he's got a 1st down as he's up to the 48. At 5 yards on the play there as the drive will continue.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, You're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
And they'll run it here. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And it'll be 2nd and 12.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
And no room to maneuver there. Give him a yard up to the 47.
So where'd all that running room that he had in the first half go? Because it looks like it's drying up a little bit here. Someone made some adjustments, it appears, at least on this drive.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Blue, landing.
On 3rd down, Jackson. Flushed out right. He can run for it, and he will. 12 yards the pickup there. Good for a Raven first.
Under the category of obvious, you hate giving up a first down on 3rd and long. And somehow, he finds his way downfield and picks it up.
And if you look at the coverage defensively, oh, this is great, but no one accounted for him at the quarterback spot.
At some point, you actually have to tackle him and get him on the ground short of the first down marker.
They're able to push forward for about 4 down to the 37.
This has been an up and down, back and forth type of a game, hasn't it? Maybe this long drive, take a little bit of the wind out of their sails, kind of settle things down a little bit.
And on the ground they go with the running back. And he'll run it right through it. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks.
And that's the big fella's MO right there. Running through tackles, keeping the sticks moving forward. This defense, if you don't bring 11 guys to the ball to try and get him on the ground, he's going to keep making runs like that. I feel the press box shaking.
Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch.
Hurry up, here we go. Blue, landing. All right, now, look at 56. Lucky 56. Gun.
On 1st and 10, it's Jackson. Looking sideline, incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Again on 2nd and 10, it's Jackson. That's caught over the middle by Hurst. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. And they'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for 3rd down.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now gives him a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
On 3rd and 1, Jackson. And able to find Conley. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Did you see that route the way that I did? I thought he was trying to get deep.
Yeah, that wasn't the first option.
No, not that. It came off of that guy, the deep guy, and came underneath on the drag. Completed it very well.
Dancing to his left. And he'll just chuck this one up into row G. It's incomplete.
What's the old adage? Be quick, but don't hurry? Well, that went right out the window there. He was hurried, harassed. That ball had to be gotten rid of. Otherwise, he was going to get sacked.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Blue, landing. Blue,
and Jackson throwing once more. And this is going to be intercepted. And I do believe this is going to wind up a safety. It is. It's a safety. How about that for a wacky play? I'm not even going to try to unpack that one.
Good move. Let's just leave that one alone, shall we?
Cat's got her tongue here in the booth. And now here come the Ravens. I'm curious to see, Charles, about the play calling on this drive. Last time out, the interception that led to a touchdown. Here we are. I mean, very close, one-score game.
Yeah, and if I'm a defender, I'm actually chirping Chili on the other side of the ball, saying, hey, we picked off the last one. What you going to do about it now? So when you do throw the football, High percentage, but throw it with confidence. If there's any hesitancy at all, it could end up in enemy's hands again.
Buying time to his left. And he is out of bounds on the other side of midfield. A big one there for the Ravens. It goes for 18.
How many times have we seen this late in the fourth quarter? Because you know the pass rush is getting after him, and they get upfield, get that great push. And what do they create? Space, and he takes off.
And he'll get this one across midfield and down into Steeler territory. Stephon Tuitt, the one that got him down. Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Yeah, think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock.
The fourth quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up at the line of scrimmage as they try and bleed it out.
Jackson. Forced out to his left. He may try and run for this. And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a first down. 5 yards on the scramble, and that's enough to pick up the first.
All right, partner, I'm a defender, but I've got to express my admiration there. Moving around, making it happen, and instead of worrying about protecting himself, he goes and gets the first down. I've got to give it to him on that one.
Normally, you don't want your guy taking shots, your quarterback, but it's winning time here in the fourth quarter. If he needs to make those plays with the legs, go ahead, right?
Yeah, no doubt about it. At this stage of the game, all protections, they're off.
Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1. So the solid run on first, and I would imagine no real hurry to run that second down play.
No, it's all on your quarterback now. He's going to keep an eye on the play clock and bleed things down, and he's not going to let the ball be snapped until it's inside 3 seconds left on the play clock. Unless, of course, you're playing a video game, you're trying to run it up on your friend.
Nice touch. Cold-blooded, too. 12 yards to pick up there. Good for a Raven first.
These guys are running offense like you drive. The pedal is down, stomped down. How about that? Back-to-back completions. They are rolling.
So much for being conservative and running that football. Escaping the pressure right. And it's caught. 11 more on that one and another first down.
And that's how you throw for a whole heap of yards in a game. You get efforts like that from your receivers. How about him laying out for that catch?
Yeah, excellent. Makes the quarterback look a whole lot better. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he pushes forward but comes up short of the goal line as he'll get a yard down to about the 1. And in this situation with the lead 4th quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line.
They'll give it to him up the middle, and he'll get in. Touchdown, Baltimore. A great play there with his first career NFL touchdown, and the Ravens will add on to their lead. And that moment we just saw, always so special for any rookie, the first touchdown of his career.
And there's nothing like anticipation, is there? You know he's been dreaming about it, thinking about it. It's been a part of every bit of his being. And finally, it gets done. He's got to feel great right now.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And they had to wait a long time to get the football back. Probably not what you were hoping for when you got an offense that's humming.
Agreed. What you were looking for is the defense get the ball back pretty quickly, right? Hoping for a 3 and out. So that didn't happen. You can't yell at your D for that. They've got to take care of their own business and reestablish themselves now that they're back on the field.
It's a Pittsburgh first down, a gain of 13.
This possession means so much for them. They've got to focus on this drive and find a way to make this a one-possession game.
Yes.
Got to get a score.
Yeah, so good with a field goal. Don't necessarily need a touchdown. They'll throw on first down with Roethlisberger. This is Bell on the dump-off. Give him 2 yards on that play, and it'll be a 2nd down.
Well, it's tough to be a defender in today's NFL because there's so many things to account for in today's passing game, including the back sneaking out of the backfield. Not quite as bad as a turkey bowl where you have that center-eligible stuff, but still a lot of guys to account for.
So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on first down. Now Roethlisberger to throw on 2nd down. That'll be taken in there by James Washington. A good pickup there, 26 yards. You cannot write these guys off just yet, not with a quarterback like that under center.
You mean it actually crossed your mind with him running the team that you could actually maybe write this game off?
Not yet.
Not a chance. Not with him. We've seen it too many times.
On 1st and 10, it's Roethlisberger. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, C.J. Mosley. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Partner, we always talk about possessions being at a premium in these games, and now in this situation, throwing an interception here when you have to claw your way back in, that one's going to hurt, and in a big way.
Set! Green 39! Green Detroit!
After the interception, here's Jackson. Steps away to his left. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Stephon Tuitt in there to make the sack. He buries him for a loss of 10.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
And they'll go ground game here with the tailback. And he's going to take this up past the 10 to about the 11. A 4-yard pickup that gets him going forward, but still 15 yards left on 3rd down.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
The Conley's got it over the middle. They do get 9, but it leads to 4th down.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. And a nice job here to down this one right on the 5-yard line. Now out comes their leader and the captain of this offense back onto the field. With his guys trailing here in the 4th, he can ill afford a repeat of the interception that ended the last drive.
Yeah, you're 2 scores down. You take it upon yourself now to play perfect or near-perfect football if you want to get your team back into the game. But it's also tough to do when you're trying to avoid errors, yet still play perfect football.
He's going to float this one deep right side. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Roethlisberger with a give to Bell. And they'll get him down up past the 15. That'll go for a gain of 13, helping big time to get away from that end zone. 1st down. Time for a break. We're back to finish this one off after this. So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Throwing now, Roethlisberger on 1st down. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. Here's Roethlisberger. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. Now it's Roethlisberger. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
And I think we'll probably see him go for it here on 4th down. No reason not to. Down a couple of scores, they have to try and make something good happen.
They'll go for it with Bell. And he's got the first as they'll bring him down at the 28-yard line. They keep the game alive, at least for the moment, as it's a first down. And now the Raven defense going to call a timeout. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. Throwing now is Roethlisberger. Man open left side is Brown. And he's brought down after a good gain. A really good pickup of 28 yards. Roethlisberger to throw. Open man right side is Smith-Schuster, complete. And he is taken down deep in Baltimore territory. And that one results in 35 yards. The Ravens going to use the second of their time. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this 4th quarter of play. 2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit them, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. Now it's Roethlisberger. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off by the linebacker, C.J. Mosley. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Well, when someone other than the quarterback is throwing the football, it's either beautiful or a disaster, and here it was the latter.
Nowhere in between, right? You're exactly right. It takes some fortitude to call that type of a play. But when it doesn't work, oh, boy, you wish you hadn't.
Now the Steelers put a stop to the action with a timeout defensively, as the clock will stop with 45 seconds left to go in the game. And they'll go on the ground. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. And the Steelers signal for another timeout, as they'll stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this 4th quarter. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. Found a little room there as he's up to about the 37. And now we're going to get a timeout here called by the defense, as the clock will stop with 34 seconds to go in the game.
Leopard! Leopard!
The Ravens taking a knee with victory seemingly in hand here. Good bounce-back win. They take the knee. Can't stop the clock defensively. Tough opening week loss, but now 1-1.
Shows that they handled things really well. A lot of teams panic after a week 1 loss, and they start to think that the sky's falling. This team realizes there's a long season, and they feel very talented, and they get it done in this one.
Well, I know at points in this one you wanted to close your eyes because of all the points that were being put on the scoreboard. You're a defensive guy, but it was a fun little track meet, wasn't it?
It was, and you know the people really enjoyed this game? They're the ones that like going to batting practice at the Major League Baseball parks, right? Seeing the 14-11 game, that sort of deal. That's right up their alley with what we saw in this one.
So for the Ravens, they make amends for their Week 1 loss by winning their home opener. And they'll have another home date next week as the L.A. Rams come to town. Meanwhile, for Pittsburgh, they'll drop to 0-2. And they'll try to make amends next week as they host the Cleveland Browns. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Certainly have to thank Charles Davis, my broadcast partner, and our entire crew. We'll catch you next time right here. It's the NFL on EA Sports.